guys, welcome back to Talk Tuesday.
Going up on the Tuesday.
I had a completely different video to do today. I wrote the outline, I spent like all day on it yesterday, but I was actually alerted to a story this morning by a bunch of you guys on Twitter about Cyntoia Brown, and this has gone sort of viral, and it kind of went viral because of Kim Kardashian and Rihanna sharing it. So this is the post. This was posted by Rihanna. I don't think Rihanna wrote this, and then it was reposted again by Kim Kardashian, who said she was going to call her lawyers this morning to try to help with the situation. And this is the post. She was 16 in that picture, but she's actually a lot older now because this case did happen back in 2004. So the post says, imagine at the age of 16 being sex trafficked by a pimp named Cutthroat. After days of being repeatedly drugged and raped by different men, you were purchased by a 43-year-old child predator who took you to his home to use you for sex. You end up finding enough courage to fight back and shoot him and kill him. You're arrested as a result, tried and convicted as an adult and sentenced to life in prison. This is the story of Cyntoia Brown. She will be eligible for parole when she's 69 years old. Now, I'm so happy that this is getting attention. I do want to point out that there are so many girls like Cyntoia that have just been completely failed by the justice system. The justice system often fails women that have been sexually assaulted, and also women of color. So this is so common, and I just wanted to share Cyntoia's full story. I've literally only had a couple hours to pull this video together, so I'm sorry if I don't have all the information, but I did my best to put this story together as best as I could. I spend a lot of time on this channel talking about sex trafficking. I work very closely with an organization called Thorn. My channel has raised over $13,000 for Thorn, so thank you guys, everyone who has bought shirts. There will be another Where's campaign coming soon with a new shirt. So this issue is very important to me, and I know a lot about sex trafficking. There's actually a great Netflix documentary on sex trafficking that I will link below that will really educate you about how this goes down and how common it really is. I do want to point out that she was technically in prostitution, not sex trafficking. She was brought into prostitution by a boyfriend and was forced to sleep with all kinds of men, threatened into it. Some of it was, I guess, consensual, but it was still, she was a minor. There was so much pedophilia going on. Like, none of this was her fault, and she was definitely sucked into this just by feeling like she had nowhere else to go. And I want to talk more about her life and what all led up to this. Cyntoia's mom had her when she was 16. This is her mom. She was addicted to crack cocaine at the time, and so things were rough for Cyntoia from birth. Her mom tried to raise her, but eventually she had to put her up for adoption. She went through all types of abandonment issues because at one point in Cyntoia's life, a family member even had kidnapped her, so things had just been completely crazy for her. She was put off in either foster care or just her mom sending her somewhere else to 6 or 7 different caretakers. She was just bounced around, passed to somebody else. She was adopted by Brown. This is her. She adopted her when she was about 2.
Because I didn't even know the responsibility of taking care of a child.
She came to my son and asked my son if he would take the child because she was in trouble. So we took her the first time, I think she was 6 months old.
She ended up being an extremely angry kid, constantly running away, had personality disorders, just went through absolute hell. She had been in with the wrong crowd and angry, and when she got a little older, she ran away from home and got into drugs and prostitution. And I do want to point out that although this isn't technically a sex trafficking case, and I mean, that's part of the post, that's what was said, it is basically the same thing. She was forced into this. There's no such thing as a legal child prostitute. So it's still sex slavery. She was still being forced by older knowing men to do these things. And some of the time it was consensual and she was charging the money and getting paid for it. But does that mean it's okay? Absolutely not. Does that mean that she is guilty of any crime or wrongdoing? Absolutely not. But what people do need to understand about Cyntoia's story is that she willingly got in his truck. In fact, she was out looking for someone. She needed the money. This was her only way of survival at this point.
The night of August 6th of 2004. Where did you begin that evening?
I was in the hotel room.
And what were you doing with Cut in the motel room at the In-Town Suites?
We were either getting high or having sex. That's all we ever did. He said that I was slipping and that I was starting to become a slouch, that I needed to get out and get on my grind and get some money.
Who were you going to see in East Nashville?
Well, I wasn't going to see particularly anyone. I was going to an area that I knew was very, I don't know, a lot of people go there and prostitute.
Okay.
And she was looking for someone. solicited her for that, and she got in his truck, went to his house, and that was a huge part of the defense. That's the only reason why I bring it up. It doesn't mean, you know, she's any less of a victim here. This is how she ended up in life in prison, because people are like, well, how could that be possible? If someone kidnaps someone, and that's what people think of when they hear sex trafficking, how is it possible that she could, you know, get a life sentence if she was kidnapped and forced to do this? But since she did, you know, charge him, she told him an amount that she would pay him for this.
Who approached you?
A man in a white truck.
And is this the person that has been referred to throughout this hearing, Mr. Allen?
Yes. Question came up, was I up for any action? He asked me how much, and I told him 200. And he said no, 100, and we decided finally on 150.
If you want to hear the story for yourself, she explains it like in her own words, and I'll link a documentary below that I watched that, I mean, it explains it all in great detail, and some of it's very disturbing, just to warn you. But she willingly went to his house, she willingly did all this stuff, and then shot him. And they really tried to make that he was just innocently in his bed and she shot him.
Mr. Allen was asleep and facing away from you when you shot him.
No, sir.
The only thing we know is that he took you to Sonic, he bought you food, he took you home, you used his bathroom, you felt comfortable doing that, you ate with him, you felt comfortable doing that, you sat on the couch and watched TV with him, you felt comfortable doing that, you got in the bed and at least one time went to sleep while he was there, you felt comfortable doing that.
I never went to sleep.
So he had a gun. He said, I was in the military. He was kind of showing this gun off to her, almost threatening her with it.
He was a sharpshooter in the Army. I seen 2 shotguns downstairs, and he showed me a chrome gun with a black handle.
And his name was Johnny Mitchell Allen. He was 43 years old.
You tend to be a nervous person.
Yeah.
Was there anything that made you especially nervous that night?
Just how he was acting, how he was just so important and stuff. And then me, I look at myself, who am I? Who am I to him? It's like, then he talks about the guns and stuff. If he does something to me, I'm sitting here thinking, what can I do?
And she started getting really freaked out because it just hit her all of a sudden, like, I'm here, I don't know this guy. She, you know, had a moment where she realized, you know, I'm alone with this guy, I don't know who he is, no one knows where I am, my mom doesn't know where I am.
I'm in his house, ain't nobody gonna know where I'm at. My mom and them, they don't know where I'm at. The people that I stay with, Chick on them, they don't know where I'm at. Nobody's gonna know what happens to me. He doesn't care. He doesn't even know who I left with. And all this is just running through me.
I mean, that happens all the time. These women disappear into this prostitution world. They're, you know, no one cares about their case. No one knows about them. They just die, literally die, and their memory dies off as well. And I think that's what Cyntoia was so worried about, because she thought, if he kills me, I'm screwed. No one will ever know. And then he got aggressive with her.
At first he was just stroking me, but then it's like he just grabbed me like in between my legs, like he just grabbed it real hard. And he just gave me this look. It was like a very fierce look. And it just sent these chills up my spine. I'm thinking he's gonna hit me or do something like that. But then he rolls over and reaches, like he's reaching to the side of the bed or something. So I'm thinking, no, he's not finna hit me. He's finna get a gun.
And what did you do at that time?
I just grabbed the gun and I shot him.
They tried everything they could to defend her, you know, talked about her doing this as an act of defense. However, back then in Tennessee, a 16-year-old could be prosecuted for being a prostitute. But the laws have changed in Tennessee since then. Now you cannot find someone guilty of prostitution when they were under the age, when they're a minor. Since this trial happened back in 2004, you know, Cyntoia's like, I believe like 28 now. People want her case re-looked at. You know, she was a child prostitute. She was basically forced into this. In a court of law, they're going to say, like, was it absolutely necessary for her to kill him? Would she have died if she didn't kill him? And they weren't able to prove that. I think it was more she just felt threatened and scared and worried something could happen to her, so she took action.
We, the jury, find the defendant, Cyntoia Denise Brown, count 1, guilty first-degree murder. Count 2, guilty of felony murder. Count 3, guilty of especially aggravated robbery. This is our verdict, this 25th day of August, 2006.
At the end of the day, no matter what happened, why is this 16-year-old girl being given a life sentence?
Hey, Mommy. Yeah, it's over with now. Well, I got life. Yep. Mommy, don't stress yourself out. I don't want you to have no stroke or no heart attack or nothing. That's the only thing that would get to me.
She's not going to be even eligible till parole till she's like 67. There's no point. Like, Her life is ruined because of this. She doesn't even have a chance to get rehabilitated. And not only that, people need to realize how much tax money goes towards having people spend their life in prison. In Tennessee, it costs about $27,000 of taxpayer dollars a year to house someone in a prison for just 1 year. Imagine Cyntoia's whole life till after she's 67. There's no point. Why are our tax dollars not going towards, rehabilitation programs and getting people out of jail? Had men sexually assault them who have been raped. How is it that you end up in jail? How can that happen? And that's the problem with our justice system. And that's what Rihanna's talking about. That's what Kim Kardashian's talking about. And I'm actually really glad to see Kim not just spreading awareness about it, but doing something about it, contacting her attorneys. Hate on Kim Kardashian all you want, but I think that's pretty cool. Hopefully something comes out of this. And I also want to point out that Cyntoia since then has been doing awesome in prison. Not awesome, but she's been doing great. She's been a mentor to other women who are there. She has become a model prisoner. She's described very well by all the guards. Not only that, but she since has gotten her associate's degree from Lipscomb University, and because of this program that she got her associate's degree, and since she got it, she will be reviewed when she's 31 or 36. But that's still too long. It's just too long. She doesn't deserve this. This guy that she killed was basically raping women. He was clearly a pedophile. This girl, she was way underage. It really seems like such a waste of time to have her wasting her life in jail. She could be a helpful member of society if she's that helpful in jail and she's helping other women. Who knows what she could do if she was actually given the opportunity to be part of society again and contribute something and help other people. She is even now working on her master's, so she's determined to change her life and she deserves another shot. There is a petition that I would love for you guys to sign on moveon.org. I will link it below. It's to free Cyntoia Brown. They almost have 150,000 signatures, so they're close to their goal. Let's push them over the edge. Let's see if we can do that. So take a minute to sign that petition, please. Feel free to use the hashtag to show your support for Cyntoia, but also she does have an address. You can send her a letter, send her words of encouragement. I think that is amazing. Tweet them to me so I can retweet them and share them what you guys are gonna send. I just want to, encourage you guys to do what you can if you're moved by this story, and definitely watch the full documentary on the whole story. Like I said, I wasn't able to get into as much detail as I'd like to because I literally found out about this morning. There's more out there to be said, more out there to hear, and she has a really long history and stories of everything she's been through and definitely deserves a listen. So I'm gonna link that documentary below. It's only an hour, but I do wanna know what you guys think. So leave a comment below. I wanna know what you guys think should have happened, what her sentence should have been, how this should have been handled, or if you think it was handled properly. I wanna know your thoughts no matter what below and why. But anyway, that's it for me today, guys. I hope you're having a great day and I will talk to you next time. Bye.